Hi, I'm Mila. I've been working at the Harrington estate for about 3 years now, taking care of Mr. Harrington and his massive property. It's the kind of place most people only see in movies: sprawling gardens, marble floors, and more rooms than anyone could possibly need. Mila, my dear, could you bring my medication and join me for breakfast on the terrace? The morning light is particularly pleasant today. That's the thing about Mr. Harrington. Despite being stupidly wealthy, he treats me more like family than staff. I grabbed his pills and headed to the terrace where he sat reading his newspaper. You know, without you, this place would fall apart. I don't tell you that enough. You tell me nearly every day, sir. I laughed, pouring his tea exactly how he likes it. Our peaceful morning was interrupted by the sound of an expensive car pulling into the driveway. I didn't need to look to know who it was. Uncle Richard! Looking spry as ever. Victor, Mr. Harrington's nephew, strutted onto the terrace in his designer suit. He barely acknowledged me before launching into his usual routine. I've been looking at some investment opportunities that would be perfect for a portion of the estate's assets. Mr. Harrington just sipped his tea. I'm sure you have, Victor. Perhaps another time? Victor's eyes flickered to me. Family business should really be discussed privately, don't you think? Before Mr. Harrington could respond, another car pulled up. Is that Eleanor? Mr. Harrington stood up, squinting. I'd never met his daughter before. She'd been estranged for nearly a decade, but suddenly here she was, designer luggage in tow. Daddy, it's been too long. She embraced Mr. Harrington while eyeing the estate like she was mentally appraising it. I've had some time to reflect, and family is what matters most, she said, though her smile didn't reach her eyes. Later that day, I was organizing Mr. Harrington's medication when Diana, the housekeeper, appeared. So nice to see the family coming together, isn't it? She was straightening things that didn't need straightening. I guess so. Mr. Harrington must be thrilled. Her voice was friendly, but something felt off. While walking the grounds that afternoon, I ran into James, the gardener who'd been here longer than anyone. Watch yourself, Mila. He was pruning roses but didn't look up. What do you mean? When vultures circle, it's because they smell death. Not saying the old man's dying, but with Eleanor and Victor suddenly showing interest. You think they want the estate? I think you should watch your back. He finally looked at me. You're the only one he trusts. Over the next week, I noticed things. Small things. Mr. Harrington's favorite watch missing, files rearranged, whispered conversations that stopped when I entered rooms. Today, I needed to update my contact information in my personnel file. When I opened the cabinet in Mr. Harrington's study, I froze. My file was thicker than it should be. Inside, I found performance reviews I'd never seen, documenting mistakes I'd never made. Someone was building a case against me. But why? I couldn't sleep that night. Someone was trying to get me fired. I grabbed a notebook and started documenting everything weird that had happened since Eleanor and Victor arrived. Missing items, changed schedules, misplaced medication. It all started adding up. The next morning, I was dusting the library shelves when I heard voices from Mr. Harrington's study. Once we get that caretaker out of the picture, convincing Uncle Richard to sign the power of attorney will be simple. That was definitely Victor's voice. I don't know why he trusts her so much. She's just staff. Eleanor sounded annoyed. According to the new estate plan, she gets a substantial payment if she stays until... we can't have that. I nearly dropped the duster. They were talking about me, and apparently about waiting for Mr. Harrington to die. How's the memory medication working? Eleanor asked. Diana has been replacing some doses. He'll start showing confusion soon enough. My blood ran cold. They were messing with his medication? Later that day, Diana cornered Mr. Harrington in the garden. I pretended to water plants nearby. I hate to bring this up, but I found Mila's handwriting in your checkbook. Some figures don't match the bank statements. Mr. Harrington looked confused. That can't be right. Mila doesn't handle the checkbook. And yesterday, she took 2 hours for a grocery run that should have taken 30 minutes. I'm worried she's taking advantage of your kindness. My jaw dropped. I'd been stuck in traffic after a car accident blocked the road. That evening, I snuck into the office to check the financial records. Someone had been accessing the files regularly. The login history showed entries at 2 a.m. when everyone should have been asleep. I took photos with my phone as evidence. While leaving, I bumped into James in the hallway. You shouldn't be poking around at night. I have to. They're trying to frame me for something. James looked around nervously. Listen, I've worked here 20 years. I've seen Diana work at 3 estates where the owners ended up changing their wills just before passing. She's not just a housekeeper. You think she's working with Victor and Eleanor? I think she brought them together. Check her background. She worked for Eleanor's ex-husband 5 years ago. The next day, I found Mr. Harrington looking distressed in his study. Is everything all right, sir? I can't seem to remember approving these transactions. He pointed to several large withdrawals. And the doctor called about changing my medication, but I don't recall any appointment. I looked at the papers. They had his signature, but it looked shaky, different. Did you sign these? I must have, but I don't remember doing it. They were making him doubt himself. My heart sank as I realized how elaborate their plan was. The situation exploded that afternoon when Eleanor stormed into the living room where Mr. Harrington and I were having tea. The diamond cufflinks are missing. The ones that belonged to grandfather? Victor appeared right behind her. We should check Mila's quarters. Diana nodded solemnly. I saw her coming from your room yesterday, Mr. Harrington. 3 pairs of eyes turned to me accusingly, while Mr. Harrington looked confused and betrayed. I don't understand. Mila, do you know anything about this? I would never steal from you. Those cufflinks were on your dresser this morning when I brought your tea. Mr. Harrington looked torn between trusting me and the evidence piling up against me. Perhaps we should search her room anyway, Victor insisted. I stood my ground. Go ahead. I have nothing to hide. They didn't find the cufflinks in my room, of course, but the seed of doubt was planted. After everyone dispersed, James caught me in the hallway. Meet me in the greenhouse. Midnight. I slipped out of my room at 11:58. The greenhouse was dimly lit by a single work lamp. We need to move fast. They're accelerating their timeline. How do you know all this, James? I've got ears and people don't notice gardeners. I did some digging on our friend Victor. He's in deep with some nasty gambling debts in Atlantic City. At least $500,000. My eyes widened. That explains his sudden interest in the estate's assets. James pulled out his phone. And look what I found on social media, posted 3 years ago. It was a photo of Diana and Eleanor at some charity event, arms around each other looking like old friends. They've known each other for years. Diana wasn't randomly hired. She's part of the plan. James nodded. I've got some security equipment from my previous job, mini cameras, voice recorders. We spent the next 2 nights planting cameras in the study, the library, and Mr. Harrington's bedroom. On the 3rd morning, I was checking the footage when I caught Diana replacing Mr. Harrington's heart medication with identical-looking pills. Later that day, I confronted her while she was folding laundry. Nice picture of you and Eleanor at the Children's Hospital Gala. You 2 go way back, huh? Diana froze, then smiled thinly. I don't know what you're talking about. I think you do. I also think you're switching Mr. Harrington's medication. Her facade dropped. You're smarter than you look, but it doesn't matter what you know. Why are you helping them? Eleanor promised me 10% when the estate sells. Do you know what this place is worth? Millions. And all I have to do is help push out an old man who's got 1 foot in the grave anyway. I'm going to stop you. Diana stepped closer. No, you won't. Because if you try, I'll make sure Mr. Harrington gets a much more permanent solution than confusion. Accidents happen to the elderly all the time. My blood ran cold as she walked away. That evening, Victor cornered Mr. Harrington in his study. I watched on the camera feed from my laptop. Uncle, I've prepared the termination papers for Mila. I've documented her thefts, her tampering with your medication. I haven't seen any proof of this, Victor. That's because she's manipulating you. The doctor said your memory issues could make you susceptible to suggestion. What doctor? They'd even gotten a medical professional to lie? Victor pushed harder. She needs to go immediately. Today, for your safety. I panicked and texted James. They're moving to fire me now. While Victor was pressuring Mr. Harrington, I snuck into Eleanor's room and searched her laptop. Bingo. Emails between her, Victor, and a real estate developer. They were planning to declare Mr. Harrington incompetent, take over the estate through power of attorney, and sell the entire property for development into luxury condos. The timestamp on the most recent email made my heart sink. Proceeding with removal of final obstacle tomorrow morning. They were going to get rid of me, one way or another, in less than 12 hours. I didn't sleep that night. James and I met at 5 a.m. in the gardener's shed to finalize our plan. I've compiled all the video footage onto this USB drive. Got Diana switching medications, Victor and Eleanor discussing their timeline for getting rid of you. Everything. We need to show this to Mr. Harrington before their morning meeting. We headed to the main house as the sun rose. Mr. Harrington was already in his study, looking worn and confused. Sir, we need to show you something urgently. Mila, I'm not sure. Victor has made some compelling points about your trustworthiness. Just give me 5 minutes, please. After everything I've done for you these past 3 years. He hesitated, then nodded. James connected the USB to the study's television. The footage began playing. Diana replacing medications, Victor and Eleanor's late-night plotting, and most damning, Diana's confession to me about the 10% cut. Mr. Harrington's face hardened with each clip. I don't understand. Eleanor is my daughter, who hasn't visited you in a decade until now. I reminded him gently. The study door burst open. Eleanor, Victor, and Diana froze when they saw what was playing on the screen. What is this? Eleanor demanded. The truth, Mr. Harrington said, his voice eerily calm. You were going to have me declared incompetent. Daddy? These videos are obviously edited. Mila is manipulating you. And I suppose you'll say this is edited too? I pulled out my phone and played the recording of Diana threatening to cause an accident if I interfered. Victor stepped forward. Uncle, don't listen to this nonsense. Your medication has been making you confused. The medication you were tampering with? James cut in. Diana suddenly looked nervous. I never... Save it. I connected Eleanor's laptop to the TV. I found your emails to Westside developers about selling this property once you gained power of attorney. You broke into my room? Eleanor gasped. After you planted stolen items in mine, I thought it was fair. Mr. Harrington picked up his phone. I'm calling my attorney right now, and after that, the police. You can't be serious, Victor laughed nervously. We're family. Family doesn't try to drug me and steal my home. Mila and James have been more family to me than either of you. Eleanor tried a different approach. Daddy, I'm so sorry. I was desperate. My business is failing and... Get out. All 3 of you. My attorney will contact you. After they left, Mr. Harrington's attorney arrived within the hour. The police took statements about the medication, tampering, and harassment. By afternoon, Mr. Harrington had filed restraining orders against all 3 conspirators. 2 weeks later, Mr. Harrington called me into his study. I've made some changes to my estate planning. Victor and Eleanor will receive nominal amounts, but nothing more. That seems fair, considering. And I'd like to appoint you as my official estate manager, with expanded responsibilities and compensation. I was speechless. You've earned my trust, Mila. This place needs someone who cares about more than its monetary value. 6 months passed. Diana faced criminal charges for medication tampering. Victor's gambling debts caught up with him when his loan sharks discovered he wouldn't be getting an inheritance. And Eleanor's social standing collapsed when the story hit local high society. As for me, I went from being just the caretaker to running this beautiful estate. Sometimes I walk the grounds at sunset and think about how they almost succeeded in pushing me out. Instead, they lost everything, while I found strength I never knew I had. When people underestimate you, they never see the reckoning coming. What would you have done if you discovered your employer's family was plotting against both of you? Would you have exposed them immediately or gathered evidence quietly like Mila did? And the bigger question, do you believe toxic family members deserve a second chance? Or should they face permanent consequences for their betrayal with no opportunity for reconciliation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this revenge story of justice served, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories where the underdog comes out on top. New stories posted every day.